Everyone needs friends, and everyone needs something to look forward to during the day. And even I do it for my cat. I actually built my cat a little fort, and he loves to go in there, and he has a routine in the morning. So he will eat and he will do his business. And of course, I'll have to clean it because he's very spoiled. He likes things clean. And so I clean it, and then he likes to cuddle after he eats. And so he'll sit up here beside me on the couch, have a little blanket for him. And after that, he wants to take a nap. And so he wants closed in spaces, but I live in a tiny apartment, and so there's not a lot of spaces for him to hide in. And so I have to make him something. And that's what I'm talking about today, is the fact that we have to put that effort out for those that we care about, those that we love, and we have to give them the experiences and the chances to have those experiences in their life. And so, this is basically, I'm talking about my cat, right? I'm not talking about a human child. And indeed, I don't go into that ideology. A cat's a cat and I'm a human. But I do have to focus on his needs, and I have to focus on the proper food, the proper nutrients and things like that. And even health-wise, I notice when my cat's not feeling good, when he's under the weather, he has a tendency, he lets me know, and he gets a little listless and, doesn't want to do his routine kind of thing. And so I actually went out and I bought a probiotic for cats the other day to help with his, because he was having a lot of stomach problems. He was like, you could tell that he was having problems when he was eating, wasn't eating the same amount and things. So I bought him a probiotic, and once again, he's back to normal. So this little setup I have here, he likes to crawl in there and he likes to sleep. And he doesn't like to be bothered. When he's in there, he doesn't like to be bothered because he gets into it, but he has a routine. But he also has those times when he needs a connection to, as I said, another person, another animal. And because I only have one cat, I can't afford two. I have to suffice. So being a human, I have to suffice. And, being a human, I'm not really into the things that the cat's into, right? So we do have a game that we play, and I pretend I'm chasing him, and he'll run around all the furniture and kind of duck in. And so it's kind of like cat and mouse, right? We play those type of games. And it's just to keep him active. I'm not into any type of woke ideology. I am not. This is just something that I'm kind of correlating to the same thing with the people in your life. Now, people need companionship. We need friendship. We need a connection with other people. Even people who are introverts need a connection to other people, whether it just be going to the grocery store, to the drugstore, talking to your neighbor, saying hi to someone. You need that connection. But in a child that is forming their mental makeup and forming their physical makeup. You see children that look in these magazines and they see women who are, well, speaking of women, because I'm a woman, but could be a male, where you look in a magazine and you see a picture of a male or a female at their peak, right? At the best, at the skinniest or the tiniest, right? So you see that, and then you kind of think, well, I could be that person. I could be like that. So you look at these magazines and you see these pictures of young adults. Think about it, a teenager who's getting in to being their self-confidence, and they're looking through these magazines and they're seeing pictures of other teenagers or other women who are tiny and perfect shape and everything's perfect, right? Well, that's not reality. But magazines sell that. They sell that as reality, and so our children are growing up trying to reach that epitome of like perfectness, right? Well, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect at all. Trust me. I look in the mirror every day and I know that. But you can be the best that you can be. But, they're giving you almost impossible standards to live up to. But as a child is forming, as they are forming their self-confidence, okay, this is so important that you give them the opportunities to test their mettle, to test their confidence, to learn how to build relationships, to learn how to talk to people, to learn how to get involved in groups. Now, I do know, I used to work in the social work field, and I do know that, there's a lot of times when there are situations in an individual's life, a child's life, where they're not given that appropriate role model, where their role model is very placating, and they're very distrustworthy of other people, and they think the worst always, right? They don't, a lot of the times the parents of children will kind of hold them back from exploring their self-confidence, for being able to get involved in different things, for being able to, test their mettle, like being able to walk to the store by themselves, being able to go to the post office, learning how to mail a letter. I mean, things like this, to us as adults, they seem like very tiny, very insignificant things, but to a child who's learning to build their self-confidence, who's learning to test their mettle against a larger world, okay? You don't want a child to be raised in an environment where they're sequestered, where they're kept confined in this locked little ideology that belongs to, not them, belongs to their parents, okay? So you give them, see that? So you give them that confidence to be able to make their own decisions. And a lot of children who are kept in that little perfect bubble, okay, they don't know how to deal with, we live in a world where there's a lot of different type of people. And there's a lot of cults, and there's a lot of groups, and groups that'll pull you into their ideology. But it's not necessarily your ideology. It's the group's ideology, okay? So it's a bunch of people who get together and believe in the same thing, but your child needs to have the confidence to find their own way, to find what it is that they believe in, to build friendships, to learn how to relate to other people. I mean, you get out in the wide world, and you're going to have to relate to the people at work. You're going to have to relate to the grocery store clerk, and to the post office manager, and to the police, and whatever. I mean, there's a lot of different people in this world. But children who are isolated, children who are kept in that perfect bubble, okay, they start to depend on that perfect bubble for the decisions that they make in their life. They depend on that bubble overly. They overly depend on it. And so they don't spread their wings. They don't learn how to make decisions in their life. And they feel a sense of loss as they get older. And I'm telling you this from experience, okay? Because I was that child. I was that child that went from a bad home environment. For myself, I'm not speaking for anyone else, but that environment that I was in kind of squashed all my confidence. I was a very introverted child. I was a very I didn't have confidence in making decisions. And what happened is, as I got older, and I'm talking, in my late teens and into my 20s, I did join the military. And so I had a sense of stability in my life, but I wouldn't have had that if I wouldn't have said, you know what, enough of this. I want to learn. I want to become somebody. I want to be something in life, okay? And so I left that environment that I was in that was kind of like keeping me down, where my confidence wasn't being built. And I'll tell you, it took a lot of strength to leave that environment. When you're used to something and you think that something is normal and you live in it for the majority of your life, it's like you turned a blind eye to it. You turned a blind eye to what has taken place behind those closed doors. Right? And so I thought, now's the time. So I left home when I was, the first time I left when I was 14, and then I left again when I was 17. I went to the military, and I made my way from there. But because of the fact that I had this introverted personality. People had a tendency to play on that. And so I got pulled into scenarios and even relationships. I got pulled into bad relationships and bad scenarios and things that weren't going to benefit me in any way, okay? And so I got pulled into that lifestyle. I started to smoke. I drank heavy. When, especially in the military, back in the 60s and 70s, booze was cheap. You could get alcohol for I think it was 50 cents a pint. I mean, whatever it was cheap, right? And so that was where I socialized, where I felt confident when I had that liquor under my belt or that beer under my belt, right? And I can't get any more real than this. I'm telling you it's straight. I'm telling you it's straight because I want to open your eyes. And I want you to see how important it is to nurture our children, to build their self-confidence, to help them differentiate between those that would want to harm them for their own benefit. They would want to get those children involved in something that doesn't benefit those children in any way, shape, or form, but definitely would benefit the person who is kind of intercepting that teenager or that young child's youth, okay? Taking them in a whole different way that perhaps normally that child wouldn't get involved in, something that is not going to benefit that child. So what I'm saying to you is, as a parent, as a guardian, as an authority figure in a child's life, okay, even a young adult, giving them the tools that they need to survive in this fast-paced, fast-moving, very sexualized society that we have. It's so, so important, because people who prey on those children, they know how to find, and this is from, I was in social work for a long time, right? So not only on my own experience, but through work experience, okay? You see this, you note this, that most children from families where there is a disconnect, where it's a dysfunctional family, those children are easily preyed upon by those people who would wish to benefit in some way from that child's innocence, from that child's inexperience. And that happens all the time. So what you have to do is you have to give that child the knowledge, and you have to give them the experience, and you have to give them the wisdom to be able to make the proper choices and to pull away from those choices that would affect them negatively. Okay? Now, I'm not saying it's anyone's fault that I was a smoker or that I drank alcohol. What I'm saying is that I witnessed it. I watched television back in the 70s and 60s. They would idolize people who smoke cigarettes. They would make women look sexier, prettier, smarter, all the above, right? Because they had a cigarette. And the cigarette was the point of fact that kind of drew me in. I wanted to be that. I wanted to be confident. I wanted to be pretty. I wanted to be perfect, just like I seen in the magazines or on the television. And our children now, and we're in 2023, and our children now are experiencing the same thing. They want to belong to something. They want to stand for something. And so you see a lot of these groups who will reel them in. They will reel them in because we are looking as a society, we are looking as a people, we are looking as children, as young adults. We're looking for something to believe in. We are looking for something to give us strength, to give us confidence, okay? To give us a sense of, I stood for that. I mean something. What I believe means something, and it's important. So why not start early? Okay, there are many groups that you can get your children involved in where they can learn to build that confidence, that self-confidence. I mean, I watch homesteaders on television, and that I get my confidence from them. I watch Roots and Refuge and Whispering Willow Farms and a lot of these different homesteading shows, and I never used to be able to garden. And you know what? This year I gardened on my patio. Now, when I was married in my 20s, 24, I think it was, 24 to 26, we had a big garden, but I kind of, went by the wayside because I pulled away from it. I pulled away from it, and we moved to a city, and I got involved in that type of lifestyle, and it wasn't a good lifestyle. Trust me, it wasn't a good lifestyle. So I'm kind of missing the days of getting my hands in the soil and getting my hands dirty, but I got involved in things, okay? I got involved in things. I got my children involved in things as they were growing up. They had one social club, one fitness club, and one normal activity. So I wanted them, that was the rules when they were in high school, okay? Now, grade school, I tried to get them involved, and I would get them in, they were in Cub Scouts, they were in Girl Guides, they were in Brownies, they were in Sparks, they were in fitness groups. We even took Tai Chi as a family. We went as a family, and I was a single mother at that time, and I would take my children with me, and we would get involved in the group to the point where I had, my oldest daughter was very, very shy, very shy. And we went to this Tai Chi class, and we went there for a matter of maybe 6 months, but it was a period of time. And you know what, I had to work it into my schedule, but it was so important to me that I thought, you know what, this is important, and so I have to find the time. Whether I'm tired from work, whether I'm tired from struggling financially, I have to make that time for my children, because when I die, when I pass away, those kids are going to be still kicking here, okay? They're still going to be kicking here, and I want them to have the confidence and the abilities that they need to survive in our society. During that amount of time that we were taking the Tai Chi as a family, my oldest daughter, who was very, very introverted, very, very shy, guess what? She stood up in front of the class and she taught the class. Now, that showed me that I did the exact thing that I needed to do by getting us involved as a family in that group, because my eldest stood up and actually taught the class, and it was a big group of people, and she did so well. I was so proud of her. It's like so proud of her. And so I would make the time, and I would encourage you as parents, make the damn time, okay? Make the time. You know what? You're not going to get wealthy based on the fact that you are loyal to the bone, that you're going to work 40 plus hours, and your children are not going to have a parental figure to do activities with, or to get involved in things, or to encourage them, or to point them in the right direction. You're not going to win that way. You're not going to win that way. No way. No way in hell. By ignoring the fact that we are their very first teachers. We are their very first mentors. And you know what? I'm saying this from experience, because I made my share of mistakes. Trust me, I did. And I will be sorry for a lot of those mistakes for the rest of my life, okay? But I'm trying to encourage you as parents to point your children in the right direction, to give them the tools that they need. Now, we moved around a lot because I had to move for work because of my field. I mean, a lot of the times in the work that I was, social work, it was a contract. And so when the contract was over, I would have to move on to something else. And so we moved a lot. Yeah, we did. We've lived in different provinces. I'm in Canada. So we lived in different provinces. And there's good and there's bad to both of those. Now, I got into a bad relationship and I moved. I moved the province, and I moved into a province where it was a different mother tongue, and so I had to enroll my children in the school. Now in Canada it's French, so I have a daughter. Now the plus side of this, okay, and my daughter's the one that encourages me to look at the plus sides of those type of decisions. I got into a bad relationship, I moved, but the good side of that is I have a daughter who's bilingual because she learned to speak French at a very early age. Okay? I mean, a lot of the times I look at myself and I said, damn, the kids didn't really have the stability that they needed. We moved around a lot. But there were pluses to that. I have another child who is this adventurer. Okay, she has traveled the world. She has settled in many different countries, not provinces, countries. She hasn't limited herself to our little bubble, okay? So she is the adventurer, right? I have another child who is a very sports activated type of child. He loves to get involved in sports. And I believe that's from getting involved in different programs, having my child getting involved in different programs, and he excelled at it. I mean, he has a championship. He won overall championship for a certain sector in pole vaulting. Okay, so there are plus sides to this, and that helps them to build their confidence. There's not one of my kids that I can say they don't have that confidence that they need. Right? Even though I had a child who was shy when she was younger, she now is very outgoing, and she's not shy to say her piece at all. So there are plus sides and there are negative sides. Okay, so I choose to focus on the plus sides. And what I'm encouraging you to do is get your children involved. Get them involved in their community. Get them involved in volunteer work. That's why I think the high school thing where they have to get volunteer hours, I agree with it. I agree with it. Because it's giving them a semblance of confidence. But a lot of the times you see a lot of young people, and this is where it gets really to the crunch, okay? You see a lot of young people, teenagers, who are shy, who are withdrawn, who don't have that confidence to meet new people, to get involved in new groups, to start a new friendship, okay? So you see a lot of teenagers sitting alone at lunch, or, walking around, or trying not to show anyone that they're uncomfortable being alone. And it's sad, it's heart-wrenching. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it up front. I mean, I did work in the field. And a lot of these children feel sequestered, and they feel hidden away from society, and they're still in that protective bubble, okay? A lot of these children are dealing with PTSD from relationships or family situations or circumstances that they were involved in. And so they're in this tiny little bubble, and they're scared to break out of that bubble. And maybe a lot of the times there was verbal situations where the child was told that they weren't or they didn't have the ability to excel. And a lot of the times, these children, as I said, are dealing with PTSD, okay? And so they've been told that, no, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, this is all you're going to be able to do when you get older because you don't have what it takes, right? And those type of parents, I would like to just shake. I would like to shake you. I would like to give you exactly what you give those children in your life. So here's the big thing, and this isn't pointing a finger at anybody. This is the truth. The truth is being laid on the table right in front of you, and you're watching my video. And if you're watching my video, maybe this truth is ringing true with you, okay? Maybe at one point in time you said to your child, you'll never be able to do that, you're too stupid. Think about what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. Huh? Your child wants to be an artist or a famous writer, and you say, you're not going to be able to do that. The only thing you're going to be able to do is wash floors. What? Who in the hell are you? Who in the hell are you to condemn or to even put down a child who is trying to build their confidence in their life? Who the hell are you? Who made you God? I just want to shake you if you're doing that to your child. I just want to shake you. Look in the damn mirror. Oh my God, it just makes me so angry when I hear or I see these things. And then I witness the after effects. I witness a child that has sequestered themselves, who has thought, there's no point. There's no point. I'll never have friends. Nobody likes me. I'm not pretty. I'm not smart. Because they've been told it by who? By an adult in their life who's supposed to protect them, who's supposed to love them, who's supposed to be their guidance, their teacher, their very first teacher. Think about this. Think about this. Instead of teaching this new woke ideology, teach our children to be confident. Teach our children to do things, to get involved in things. How about that? How about that? Don't tell your child they're stupid. Don't tell your child, they can't do this and the only job they're going to have is scrubbing floors, or maybe something worse. Don't be. Who in the hell are you to say that to a child? I just want to smack you. Like, really? What kind of person does that? What kind of person will do that to a child? So let's look at our children, and let's focus on our children, and let's help our children to become the best that they can be. And you know what? There's lots of activities. There's lots of groups to get your children involved in. And you should be pushing it. You should be pushing it. because that child is not going to step up to the plate and say, oh, I want to do that. No, they're going to want to stay in that safe little bubble where they're not going to take the chance that someone's going to tell them they're stupid, right? Or that they're not pretty enough, they're not good enough. They're going to stay in that protective little bubble for the rest of their life. And then as parents, we pass, we go to the next realm, okay? And they're left here in society alone. And then those people who prey on the innocence of young children, yeah, they know exactly what kids to make a beeline for. So you are their protection, whether you're here or whether you're not. What you teach your child and the experiences that you give your child is what's going to protect them as they're moving through their life, and you're no longer here to do it. So I would hope that this video reaches the people that actually need to hear it. You need to hear it. The people that, perhaps have kind of been waylaid by that push to be the richest and to have the best job and the nice car and the best home and the best partner, okay? Those parents who are so focused on work and so focused on getting ahead and paying the rent. And you know what? With the way the rents are going now, we're all going to be homeless anyway. So, just pitch a tent and teach your children how to grow a garden. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying live in a tent, but what I'm saying is take the time to teach your child what your child needs to know in order to thrive in their life, okay? Yeah. It's important. And I'm kind of going to sway back to the old days, okay? But there were groups. There was lots of groups. I mean, I put my kids, they were in Girl Guides, they were in Brownies, they were in Sparks, they were in Cub Scouts, they were in Tai Chi classes. As a family, we went. So there was a connection. So we had one activity that we did jointly so that my children would learn that the family was not hidden away, that as a family unit, we were not going to be hidden away. We were going to show our mettle. We were going to show that we had this zest for life, and we wanted to get involved in things as a family, okay, where we didn't feel isolated. So that's all I'm saying to you. I hope that you take this video the way it's meant, and I hope that you pick up that phone and find some activities to get your kids involved in. So I shall see you on the next video. Namaste. Take care.